Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Mail FTM. This weekend is a special weekend. I wanted to give a birthday shout out to Damien and Aiden, whose birthdays are this weekend. Aiden's was yesterday and Damien's is today, so happy birthday to them. This week's topic, we are talking about fitness and body image, which is an important topic to discuss with anybody, really. But definitely can't stress enough that it's important for trans people to have body positivity and body image positivity, and fitness is just one of those byproducts of that. I'm a big person. I like to eat, and definitely not ashamed of it. For sure, I'm bigger, always have been. I don't really have a fitness regimen of my own. Partially, my excuses is that I don't have time. I work almost 6 days a week, 6 days a week sometimes more, and I also volunteer to save money for school, and I need volunteer hours for school as well. So I just don't have time in my schedule, so that's my excuse. There are some people who don't have excuses and work with that, who are all power to them, but for me, it just doesn't work for me. I also use food as my way of coping with my dysphoria, my depression, my anxiety, anything else like that. I undergo a lot of stress right now with moving, which is the moving and tuition and student loans and all that kind of stuff is definitely a stressor for me right now. On top of everything else, including being trans, is all a byproduct of my stress, and eating is my way of coping with that, and I have been using that as my coping mechanism most of my life. So diet is definitely an important aspect of that, having a good diet, eating, fruits and vegetables, the whole spiel that you've heard all your life. It's easier said than done for some people like me who use food as a way to cope with your problems. It's not necessarily that I eat, horribly. I don't eat fast food very often. I just eat more times a day than I should, and I eat a lot of carbs, which is what kills for sure with weight. And I don't have, I do have muscle mass, but I have a gut. That's where I store most of my fat on my body. And so it definitely, when you don't work out and you don't have a good diet to go with that, it is detrimental to your body. I used to bike a lot, bike every day, but then I got a car and a license, and now I haven't walked anywhere unless I needed to in probably 5 or 6 years since I've got my license and a car. So I am probably the worst, most unhealthy person that you've ever met, honestly. You don't have to be super fat to be unhealthy. You don't have to be even fat at all to be unhealthy. It's not about being fat or skinny, and I definitely want to see that as a stigma erased from body positivity in both men and women, trans men especially, because I think they're lower on the totem pole for body positivity, which isn't fair. As long as you're happy and you're healthy and you're keeping yourself happy and healthy, really it doesn't matter what you do. Some people like to work out, some people don't. Some people like to eat, some people prefer to eat unhealthy, and they're fine, for the most part. There's people, because if it's all about metabolism too. If you have a really high metabolism and you eat McDonald's 4 times a week and you're skinny as a stick, well, you might not necessarily be healthy, but people see skinny people are automatically healthier than fat people or bigger people because they just assume that fat people, and I'm going to use that word very generally. I shouldn't be using that word, but I call myself fat. I use that word like towards myself a lot. It's not and should not be used as a derogatory term. But what I mean by that is people see skinnier people as opposed to bigger people and just assume that the skinny people are healthy, and that is not always the case. For me, I haven't had the drive to fix my eating problem. It's not excessively out of control, but I weighed myself a couple days ago and I'm at 208. I've never been that big ever, so I'm definitely going nowhere fast. My issue has not been, obviously hasn't gotten worse, but it has gotten better a little bit, but it's not really because I don't do any exercise. If I exercise, I probably wouldn't have an issue. But I don't, because I just don't have time, and I don't have the drive when I'm tired from work and volunteering, and I just want to sleep because I like to sleep. So that's a wrap for this video. There's lots, like I said, there's lots of different ways. You just have to find your drive and your motivation, what works for you and your body and your lifestyle, and figure it out. Anybody can tell you their tips and tricks, but it doesn't always work for everybody. So you might want to compile a list of YouTube videos from not even necessarily trans people, but people who are big into fitness and healthy eating and that kind of thing, and just stick with what works for you. So that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next week.